So what we have here is a simple airbrush kit. This is one of the most basic airbrushes you can find these days, and it's usually popular for industrial kind of use when you just applying one color over a production series of something, or the glues. I know it's used for applying glue or some other chemicals like that. So let's look into this and see what we got. This is the set of everything that's included. Right, so we have the airbrush itself, we have two different sizes of the paint cups, we have air hose, adapter, and then we have the special cup which I'll show you in the minute how exactly we're going to use it. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you how this thing used, but I can explain you what it is. It goes on top of the air can, like an air propellant. We used to have them under no-name brand. I think Badger still sells them. You might be able to find one under Mr. Hobby brand, but it's really outdated now because of the cordless airbrush technology. So, you know, this is used to be popular when you wanted to be portable on the way, but now the cordless airbrush kind of took over. So I know some people still use it. That's why we have it there in the kit, but it's kind of outdated. So the airbrush itself is really basic. It is a single action, so you only control air pretty much, and the amount of paint is controlled here by rotating this little knob here. So this is your amount of paint going out, and I'll show in a minute with the airbrush connected. We have two different sizes, so often there's actual wrench here. Forgot to mention that, but there are two different sizes of the paint bottle, so we're going to use the smaller one today since it's just a quick demo. I'm going to put some no-name paint in it, and then we have adapter to 1/4-inch connector. That's I'm going to use our Super Culturi. That comes with a 1/4-inch connector. This is made because most of the production guys, most of the factories and stuff, they're going to have the 1/4-inch connector. If for some reason you want to use this airbrush, we use specialized airbrush compressor like a Culturi, you don't want to have the adapter for 1/8. But again, this is like really specialized product for particular needs. So we'll show you how it sprays. Alright, so I added paint, and all I do, I plug it in here. So we got paint filled in and connected to the airbrush, and what I noticed right away is this requires way more pressure than the traditional airbrushes we sell. So again, for industrial use, probably applicable. Right now I have around 50 psi, 40 psi, I'd say. Yes, it's right, 40 psi, which is a lot for the normal airbrush user. You'd use it for t-shirts and such, but not for your figures and art. And that's kind of spray you get with it. So there's delay, as you notice. If I start spraying, it takes a while to get the paint out. This is another downside of this airbrush, but overall, yes, it gets you really predictable kind of spray. You have no regulations over the amount of paint going out, so you can't really control for detail, but you can control the amount of paint going out by rotating this knob, and we're going to try to do it right now. So you see, it's really lightened it up. This is, I guess, as detailed as you're going to get. So with this adjustment here, you see you can even get to this kind of detail, which is, again, nothing super spectacular for the airbrush user, but it just gives you an idea that, yeah, it has some adjustment here. So I can do the light spray, or I can go back to heavy just by rotating this knob right there. But again, this is the simple airbrush. It is an airbrush, and it is simple, and it is plastic, super light. So for production, if you're doing a lot of painting, and then you can choose the color, change colors quickly with this thing. So we have the sets of those bottles and bigger bottles if you need to. They're all the same standard system, so you can just plug and play, kind of, have the color have this own jar for each color. So, have red and blue in the different jars. You just quickly connect them. And then I would recommend having a bigger one with reducer, so you can quickly flush it after you use it. It's all you do for cleaning. You just pretty much put the one with reducer, you flush it out really well, and that's it. There's not much cleaning involved in this type of airbrush. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next one.